Well, New Year's is upon us, and during this time, a lot of people associate it with apocalypse, the end of the world, and all that jazz, but, I mean, when has that ever happened? And if it did, then, well, I wouldn't be here. It's always at midnight. Why is it always at midnight? Strangely enough, it's going to be the 20th anniversary of the Y2K bug. And if you don't know what the Y2K bug, basically, in the year 2000, pretty much a lot of people expected the world to end. And this was because of, well, a lot of clocks couldn't go to the year 2000, so they would relapse back to 1900. And then that would basically make the economy implode. And the reason why the economy would implode is because, you know, the clocks and a lot of banks and ATMs would go completely ape. And then everyone's money's gonna get... It's insane. But the point is, people were going crazy beforehand. Many were getting prepared, getting supplies, as if it was really going to be the end of the world. Well, obviously, that didn't happen. But what if it did? I mean, it's kind of an interesting storyline. But, I mean, is there any shows that kind of delved into that? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of post-apocalyptic stories. What about an anime? And one that really came to mind when I was thinking of a video topic was Dr.Stone.
Never heard of it. Now look then, we're not promoting drug use here.
It just blows my mind. You don't know what Dr. Stone is. Dr. Stone, it's an amazing show that educates everybody on science. It makes Bill Nye have a run for his money. Jimmy Neutron would want to be the main character. Look, I can't believe what nonsense I'm hearing. Ignore all this stuff. Look, without further ado, this is why you should watch Dr. Stone. Well, why should you watch the show? Plenty of reasons. For starters, it's extremely easy to get into the plot. There's no insanely long exposition or prologue, and by the end of the first episode, you're thrown right into the new Stone World. What's the Stone World? I won't say much, but it's the result of everyone being petrified in which humanity has stopped evolving. Nature takes over, considering our main cast of characters awaken about 3,700 years after present-day Japan. How do we know the year? Well, Senku counted each and every second he was turned into stone. Who's Senku? Why, he's the main character, aka the Jimmy Neutron or perhaps the Dexter of anime. With his extreme intelligence, he, alongside his friends, are tasked to restore civilization back to its former glory. It's kind of like an Adam and Eve sort of thing, but with a lot of science involved, which, wow, on paper sounds very contradicting. But in play, it works out tremendously well. I don't know how scientifically possible some of these inventions are, but some way, somehow, Senku ends up creating plenty of useful things that I didn't even think were possible in a Stone Age environment. And what you may be thinking is, well, does this get stale over time? And the short answer is no. Whenever they're crafting something, it usually doesn't take one episode, it takes multiple episodes to get this one goal done. Gathering the ingredients usually has a catch to it, which leads to really interesting outcomes. I don't really know how to explain it, but there's sort of like this magical child mentality with the show. Okay, the best way to explain it is, have you ever watched Bill Nye, like as a kid in science class? It's kinda like that. Okay, keep that in mind, but turn it into an anime and make it cooler. Okay, now you most likely have a general idea of what Dr. Stone is about. And some of these recipes actually, I believe, are true. I mean, I've seen on YouTube people making Coca-Cola because they, spoiler alert, they end up doing that in the show, and I mean, it's not exactly Coca-Cola, obviously, but yeah, it actually works, the recipe. And what makes this whole scientific process in the show enjoyable is how the characters react to what's going on, the colorful cast. It all adds up to really make everything fun. Also, just a side note, these projects aren't just to be dilly-dallying, they really do advance the plot, in which I'm not going to spoil obviously, but it's great that it's just a great way to keep things smoothly going on. You know, it's sort of like a physical roadmap in a sort of sense. They usually set themselves up with a specific goal in making something to solve another specific problem that is a roadblock. And on top of that, through all these trials and whatnot, a lot of the characters do evolve. And I think Senku is probably the best example of this. In the beginning, the viewer is made to believe that he's sort of a cold, logical person that doesn't really resemble too much emotion. But through and throughout, later within the story, he really does open up, and it's just so wonderful to see all this unfold. Look, I know I'm keeping a lot of things out and sort of making things a bit vague the way I describe it, but I really want you to experience this on your own regard if you haven't watched the show. But I will mention one thing. Get ready for episode 16 and 17 while you're watching. 2 words. Fucking tragic. To wrap up my thoughts, Dr. Stone is an extremely unique specimen within Shonen Jump. It's a story that does not rely on physical strengths of its characters to progress the story. Instead, in order to get the plot rolling, Senku, who technically has no superpower or extraterrestrial abilities, has to solve each problem ahead within a scientific method and manner. Along Senku, the cast of characters are fun to watch that bleed energy. And while on face value the story may sound simple, I think that helps it in regards similar to Demon Slayer. You have no reason to not give it at least a try. Season 1 has completely finished with 24 episodes under its belt. In addition, the possibility of Season 2 has been confirmed, thus proving its success. If you watch Dr. Stone, I'm 10 billion% sure you'll enjoy it. Well, at the end of the day, I hope I've convinced you to at least give the show a try. It truly is a treat to watch. But aside from that, thank you so much for watching. I 100% appreciate it. And if you did like the video, hit that like button, subscribe, you know the good stuff. And if you didn't like it, hey, you could tell me off in the comments below. I do not mind, as long as it is good, constructive criticism. But yeah, thank you so much and have a wonderful new year.